Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you clicked on one of my videos. Welcome. Now, let's talk about imitation and foreign language learning. This is a bit of a controversial topic. Some people love imitating native speakers and find it really helpful when they want to improve their pronunciation. But others don't see value in it, as they say that language learning goes way beyond repeating someone else's speech. Here we face two theories that linguists have been discussing for a long time: behaviorism and cognitivism. If you Google these two terms, you'll find that behaviorism focuses on observable behaviors. Behaviorists argue that all behaviors are acquired through interactions with their environment, which gradually shapes specific behaviors over time. On the other hand, cognitivism focuses on internal mental processes such as understanding, memory, perception, and problem solving. It suggests that learning is an active process where individuals interpret and organize information to construct their own understanding and knowledge. Unlike behaviorism, which emphasizes external stimuli and responses, cognitivism delves into how the mind processes, stores, and retrieves information, highlighting the role of critical thinking and prior knowledge in the learning process. Now, let's define imitation. In language learning, imitation refers to the process where learners replicate or mimic the sounds, words, sentences, or communication patterns of others, usually native speakers of that language, to acquire and practice a new language. As we already saw from the definitions of behaviorism and cognitivism, imitation is a part of behaviorism. Its key points are building habits, repetition, and what some people would call drilling of sounds, vocabulary, or grammar. I know this sounds intimidating, but bear with me and you will find out why I find imitation effective, as well as some limitations that I see in it. Let's start with why many people, including myself, believe that imitation plays a crucial role in developing pronunciation, vocabulary, and to some extent grammatical structures, especially in the early stages of learning. When it comes to language production, imitating has helped me build better understanding of the phonetics, rhythm, melody, and even body language of the native speakers of American English. Phonemes are the sounds of the language, like vowels and consonants. Rhythm is the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables within a sentence. Melody is the intonation that different phrases and sentences are spoken with. And of course, let's not forget about body language, because the gestures we make are super important for being perceived as confident, trustworthy, and engaged during communication. They often enhance verbal messages and provide nonverbal cues that support understanding and rapport. When we learn a new language, we're often so focused on memorizing words and learning correct grammar that we don't notice the rhythm, melody, and especially the phonemes that we don't have in our native language. But by imitating someone else's speech, our brain might pick up on these elements of the language as we try to repeat exactly what we hear and how we hear it. By the way, in some of my other videos, I shared how I learned English, and although it wasn't solely through imitation, imitation definitely played a huge role in improving my pronunciation and rhythm. If you want to learn more about my journey with becoming fluent in English, you can find the link to my video about it in the description below. Okay, now let's talk about why some people don't believe imitation is an effective way to learn a language. Supporters of the cognitivism theory believe that language is not learned by imitation, but by processing and organizing information, building understanding, and producing their own original phrases and sentences. This theory emphasizes the active role of the mind in acquiring and organizing knowledge. I won't dive too deeply into the details here, as there is plenty of information online if you're interested in learning more about the behaviorism and cognitivism theories. But I think it's important to note that both theories have their strengths and limitations. Each offers valuable insights into how people learn languages, and depending on the learner and context, Different aspects of these approaches might prove more effective. When it comes to learning a foreign language, I think it's beneficial to use both. It shouldn't be either or, but they both should be used to complement each other. We as learners are so diverse and everyone learns differently. I, for example, am a natural imitator. When I was a kid, I loved imitating different people. But you might not be, and that's okay. I just wanted to share with you that imitation has done wonders for my acquisition of English because I was able to grasp the sounds, melody, and rhythm of the language in a way that I wouldn't have been able to had I only relied on the traditional teaching that I was getting at school. I strongly suggest that you try imitation if you haven't done it yet. Do it in addition to other methods of learning because while I think it's super helpful, I don't believe that it's enough to master a language. You will still need to learn and understand grammar and vocabulary. There's no question about that. But if you want to give imitation a try, I have several shadowing videos where I listen to a speaker, analyze the speech in depth, and repeat it alongside with the speaker. Here's a little glimpse at how I do it.
My dad was a feminist. Like, he was like, don't rely on a man for anything. Like, you can always make your own money. You can always be independent. Like, you never want to be reliant on someone.
Anytime I think I have something completely figured out, something fixed, something else will happen in life and it'll crop up.
We always want to be perfect at everything to go out and do it. And that's what stops us from doing things. Because like, if this job is getting you this sick and you hate it, you have to quit. I said, but Dad, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, this isn't like me.
I did a lot of different interviews and interrogations. In the U.S. Secret Service, they did a lot of financial crimes.
You have to be very careful about speaking for people. I speak for women. I speak for, it's like, no. I don't speak for Latinos. What I do is teach and inspire them to speak up for themselves.
I actually moved out to California. I didn't have a job. I barely had any money. I didn't know anything about California, but I was like, I have to go out there and I have to learn from people who are the best.
Everybody's affirmations are different. Just to wrap up the affirmations, but everybody's are different. And once you make yours and you say it, write it on your mirror, write it on a paper.
I'll put the link to the playlist with these videos in the description below. You don't have to do it exactly like me. You can just listen to someone and try to repeat what you hear. But analyzing a speech more deeply will help you notice different nuances of the language. Let me know in the comments if you have ever tried imitation and if you find it helpful. Okay, that was it for today. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.